Thank you. All right, now that we're recording, I will reiterate, we have a quorum present. We're missing Commissioner James Tanderick, who is in transit, will be joining us hopefully shortly, if the transportation gods shine on him. So I'm calling the meeting to order and starting with the adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight with no objection. We will proceed.
I do have one
Commissioner Bear?
addition. We need to, thank you. We need to vote on the payment to the UPS store for our post office box in the tune of 600 and.
I do have that as a part of the agenda. As a final
I apologize.
item. Yeah, and under 7 UPS store, $623 a year and 88 cents.
Yes,
Is that
I
right?
apologize for not being, yes, I'm sorry.
Gotta dig in way to the end there, buddy.
Yeah, it's there.
I'm sorry. I have embarrassed myself.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually had moved it from further up in the agenda so that we could get Dr. Eddington in sooner. And if I don't stop talking, we won't. So, okay, so we're approving the meeting agenda. Going on to the meeting minutes. Has everyone looked at the meeting minutes? Does anyone have an objection, any amendments to the meeting minutes from January? Okay, if there's no, Mitch?
Yeah, I have one addition. We need to have said that we voted on the QFR and passed it by a vote of 6-0. It wasn't clear from those minutes that was a vote that was taken, and I need it so that the ANC office will accept the QFR for the quarter number 1 of 2024. So the item needs to say vote to approve the QFR for quarter number 1 for FY 2024.
Thank you. Rachel, in the absence of James, could you note that down for us this evening?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so if there are no further objections or corrections, the meetings are going to stand approved as corrected. Okay, moving on. Regular agenda, commissioner updates and announcements. Let's start with the man of the hour, Mitch.
I don't have anything other than to say that the resolution that was going to be put forward during the soapstone discussion will not be put forward during the soapstone discussion, since I have received a number of comments from the community that I'd like to be able to incorporate into it before I have the commission consider it again. But I will be putting those comments and some of the revisions that I'm making to that resolution into the testimony that I'm going to give next Thursday at the hearings for DC Water and DOEE before the council, doing budget and performance reviews this time of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Slotnick?
The only thing that I'd like to say is that I did attend the University of District Columbia's Board of Trustees meeting, where I had heard the president give his 5-year strategic plan, which apparently he is going to give us a little taste of this evening. That's the report.
Thank you. Commissioner Hewitt?
Hi, Madam Chair. Only thing I have is the Housing Committee. We will meet March 19th. It's in the agenda. That's the only update I have at the moment.
Thank you. Commissioner David?
No updates on my end. Thank you.
Okay. So let's go to committee reports. Paul Harrison, are you here for Streets and Sidewalks?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me, Commissioner Carlson?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Sorry I'm not on video. I'm at a Virginia rest stop in transit. So I will keep this brief. So Streets and Sidewalks did meet. We had a couple folks out sick, but had a good back and forth with over email. Key elements that I wanted to report. We have received a notice from DDOT that that a ANC request back from 2017 to close the slip lane from Reno to 36th Street is going to be acted on. So we'll be having an extension of the Triangle Park there and more open space there, and hopefully some traffic safety, pedestrian safety improvements from that. It has raised questions from a number of us as to additional crossing infrastructure, traffic calming infrastructure on Reno, particularly at that intersection, but along there. So we'll be talking about that more. Folks have thoughts on that, please participate in Street and Sidewalks. Speed humps were just installed on Alton Place between 35th and 36th. Haven't heard much from the community either way on that, but I know that traffic calming that street was a priority, so glad to see DDOT working on that. There has been some conversation. We have received notice from DDOT that they will be doing additional sidewalk work on the south side of Albemarle. There's a notice period for that. So we'll leave that to the ANC to act on as is appropriate. That has raised the issue of the prioritization system. So DDOT has been increasing the budget available for filling sidewalk gaps. That's been the raison d'etre for our committee and a priority for the community. But we are working on a resolution to present to the ANC for consideration to encourage DDOT to have a more open process for allowing ANCs to present priorities moving forward. The DDOT priorities are focused around distance to school, the amount of traffic on a street, distance to parks, socioeconomic factors, but there isn't currently a way for ANCs to say, hey, we'd really like you to prioritize this, or for the prioritization system to consider 311 community identifications of places where crossing is difficult or where sidewalks are an issue. So we want to encourage them to do that. So we hope to be back to the committee, to the whole ANC with that maybe next time. So that's the report. As always, if folks would like to join the Streets and Sidewalks group, please feel free to email me, paul@3lobos.com. I'll add you to our email list. I will post that in the chat as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Parks and watersheds, Mitch?
Nothing to report. Thank you.
I just let's skip to housing and neighborhoods because I think James just logged in here. Let's give him a moment to catch his breath. Terry, housing and neighborhoods. You sort of spoke to this, but
yes, you're correct. So March 19th, and the focus is on, it will continue with the focus of creating pathways of conversation for property managers to engage DC government. But the overall focus going forward, that's more of a side focus, is looking at our constituents, the aging in place, and some of the current policies, as well as just being able to provide an avenue for constituents to hear what DC government and other agencies have to offer, and making certain that what's going on in the city also ensures that those who are aging in place it is a priority. But mainly the focus is bringing information and resources to those who are aging in place and hearing the voices of those who are aging in place, some of the concerns. Thanks.
thank you. James, Commissioner Tandarek, I welcome you and also welcome you to speak to the Schools and Universities Committee if you would like to.
Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm calling in via transit right now, so I won't be on camera for a little bit. School universities. if you have not heard already, I will be resigning as a commissioner. I've spoken to my various listservs and put it on the listserv the other day as well too. And because of that, as chair of the committee, I'm going to be reaching out to the committee and reach out to a couple people to get their interest on being the chair of the committee as well. I'm also going to allow Commissioner Slatnick to actually be the liaison for School Universities Committee moving forward as well. Commissioner Slatnick, I welcome and excited for you to continue the good work happening in our area as well. But that's it for me.
Thank you. So we're going to move along today in our regular agenda directly to the DC water update. Emmanuel Briggs, are you on the call?
Hey, good evening, commissioners. Emmanuel may be on, but I'll be doing the
Oh, sorry, Darrell.
presentation tonight. No problem. Give me 1 second. I'm sharing my screen. All right. All right. We'll be going through the presentation pretty quickly. We just left it all together for when you all share it on your site and things of that nature. Just to update, this is a new look at the updated map showing some of the newly completed work, mainly along Audubon Terrace, showing you some of the areas that remain. As you can see, that segment of the pipe that's not filled in, that's Shat 10. We'll go into details on that a little later. But to date, we've lined 5,200 linear feet of pipe, and that includes some of the previous line segments as well. We have approximately 920 linear feet remaining to be lined. Jumping right into the status update. Current status, we installed the last segment of CIPP along Audubon Terrace this evening. Other activities included this week will include doing a post CCTV of the installed line and then also a final CCTV and review. We'll also begin planning live stakes for stream bank stabilization. I have a photo on the next slide just to give you a kind of idea what the live stakes are. Next week, we'll begin repairing pavement along Audubon Terrace. Then with DC Water and IPR, we're getting together, developing a plan for the remaining activities. So schedules for those remaining activities will come in the near future. The week of March 4th, we're doing a walkthrough, an initial walkthrough, DC Water, Hazen, Empire, and IPR, just to review the final planting plans. Also in that week, we'll be finalizing the approach for the remaining lining work, and waiting to receive approval from DOEE on the new carrying methodology. Sorry about that. And that includes the shots for Lenore Lane, Van Ness, Shat 10, and then we also are putting in the permit for road closure at Albemarle between Connecticut and 32nd, and that's to install a catch basin in a manhole. I mentioned live stakes in the last slide. Here's just an image of what that'll look like. That's just the sort of initial planting to get the stream stabilized. And just our stakeholder engagement, once again, we're committed to coming to these meetings every month and continue to provide updates via email distribution, and continuing coordinating with the property managers at the apartment complexes and the other neighbors as well. Here's our contact information. If you have any additional questions or concerns regarding the project, feel free to reach out and we will get back to you with any questions you may have.
Thank you so much. Commissioners, does anyone have any questions?
I just want to thank Jarrell for being so concise with his presentation this evening, and the information he provided was very, very helpful. The community's been asking for some of these scheduling pieces of information, and thank you for giving it this evening.
I
Thank
would
you.
like to, thanks. I would like to add, hey, Jarrell, in reference to the catch basin that you're, the permit that you're filing for, do you have any idea when that might occur? No, I ask because it directly, my building is parallel to that construction work, which is just fine. We understand why. At least I can put a notice out that, hey, just be aware.
Ms. Hunter, this is Peter, the project manager. The application is with DDOT, so
Okay.
it's ongoing. We don't know when we're going to get it back.
Okay, sounds cool. Thank you.
Any other commissioners? If not, we'll go to Marjorie.
Hi, thank you. And thanks, Jarrell. That was very helpful. Two quick questions. One is what, and I see that Stephen Orrs from DOEE is on. Could you say a little bit more about what the options are for deciding how to reline the rest of the pipes? And two, could you say a little bit about why you think you are finding such high levels of the methylene chloride? Thank you.
Who is that question? Is that question to Stevens or to DC Water?
Anybody.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway,
Somebody though. Somebody should answer
who has
it.
a good factual answer, please.
Okay. This is Peter again. We've decided to use a UV for linoleum, varnish, and short 10. We provided the plan to Stephen. He got some comments. The comments are with an Acon. We trying to address those comments, and we've Acon already drafted the response, but we've sent it to IPR, to send it to the manufacturer and clarify some of the questions that Stevens have.
Wonderful. That sounds like very good news. Can you just say briefly why you're choosing UV for those areas?
As we told you before, on linoleum, the pipe is bad. It's very bad. And there's a lot of infiltration. So the best application for it is UV. Because there's a steep slope. I mean, it dropped about 50, 60 feet. So for water will be too heavy and it'll be too dangerous. We cannot constrain. We can't dig. National Park Service said we can't dig. So we can't. So the only option we will have gone back to steam, but the permit that we got from DOEE is they only give us permission to use water. So that steam is out of it. So we cannot limit it to the other option we have was to dig it, open dig it. But NPS didn't like that option. So we were just the only option we have left was a UV. That's why.
Very good. Thank you. And the methylene chloride?
This is the first time I'm hearing it. Where did that come from?
Pardon me?
I said, this is the first time I'm hearing.
It's in your report. It's in your 54 page report. I think I don't have my notes in front of me. I think it's shot number 5. It's enormous levels. I mean, really excessive levels of the methylene chloride, which I believe is a carcinogenic VOC.
Well, I believe Will, the last time we discussed this subject, I think he can explain to you that the only reason that we find, I mean, just let me just back up a little bit, just to let you know, we are within DOEE action level. We meeting it. So that's one. But as we explained to you the last time, we believe is the residual from IPR equipment. And what they did was they using all new equipment, new boiler, new piping, all those stuff. We were hoping, that's our hope, that will address that problem. But they can look at it. We couldn't find anything else, but IPR believe is a residual from the equipment. But we are within the action level from that DOE gave to us.
Marjorie, does that answer your question?
I didn't catch all of it, so I'll have to listen to the recording. If Stephen Orrs is on, it would be great to hear from him on that.
I did see Stephen Orrs on. Are you, Mr. Orrs, are you willing to speak to this from DOEE? Surprise guest. Maybe he's not on anymore.
Courtney?
Sorry, I apologize.
Yes.
I'm on. I was just I'm not that familiar with Zoom, and I couldn't find my unmute for a second.
Thank you for being here. And if you're willing to chime in on this, we'd really appreciate your perspective.
Right. No. You mentioned methylene chloride. That was not something that we were specifically targeting looking at. I'm going to have to go back and look at the reports and see which specific one you're talking about there, and look at the comparisons. I don't know off the top of my head what that is. I know when Peter was talking about residuals, I think that we were primarily talking about the styrene, which we've been kind of keeping a fairly close eye on the styrene issues, which we know that there can be some residuals there in the equipment. I will go back and look and see what it is specifically. And you said it's shot 5. I'm gonna have to go back and look and see that.
Yes, it's exceedingly high levels. And I believe it's been banned by EPA. Yes, it's very high levels, and I believe it's shot 5. If it's not, I can email you tomorrow.
Yeah. Please let me know. And I will say methylene chloride is still used in many circumstances for many different things. It hasn't been like totally banned by EPA. It is a regulated pollutant. There's no question about that. So I'll have to go back and take a look at what your specific concern is there. So yeah, okay. Please do send it to me, and I will certainly follow up on that.
Okay. Yes, I just found it. It's shot 5. It's 2,620 parts per billion. And it's on page 22 of your 54 page report.
Okay. Page 22, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
It seems to be a very large detection. So if you could,
I will. I'll take a look at that. Obviously, 2,620 parts per billion. That's 2.6 parts per million. So I'll have to look and see what that is compared to. I don't have the health thresholds memorized by any means, so I'll have to take a look and see what that is. And I don't have that right in front of me, but I'll definitely look into it. Thanks.
Sure. Thank you.
We really appreciate your being here, and if you wouldn't mind just letting us know, your take on what Marjorie's pointed out, so we can report back to the group, that would be great.
Sure, I can certainly do that.
Thank you. We really appreciate your expertise on the call.
Commissioner Hewitt. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Hewitt, and then David. Got it, David.
Madam Chair, I'm good now. I'm good.
Okay, thanks. Commissioner David.
Thank you. I wanted to be clear. So you're using UV curing. You're using UV lights to do everything.
For shot 10.
Because I asked because we have a resolution to use UV curing. So I'm wondering, what is the difference now?
Yeah, we're using a UV to do the remain. We only have Shorten, we have Lennon and Van Ness. Those are the only 3 segments that is left of all the whole project. And those three segments, it just dropped. The slope is dropped. It's too dangerous to do with water. So that's why we resorting into using UV.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? I know there was a request from the get-go to use UV everywhere.
Yes.
And that hasn't been done, but they will be using it going forward in shot 10.
Right. So because now I'm wondering, do we need a resolution if it's already being used now? If the
Well,
choice
Mitch
is to
pulled
do
the
it-
resolution at the beginning of the meeting. He pulled
Oh.
his resolution for today.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for DC Water? Okay, thank you so much. And an additional thank you to Mr. Hours for being here as well. So we're going to move along, excuse me, to our regular agenda, the community forum. We have, James, do you want to introduce Dr. Eddington? Are you in a place?
Yes, I can try and make sure he's on the call.
Yeah, he's here. I'm sorry,
Okay,
he's
awesome.
here. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I want to give you the deference to be able to do the introduction.
No worries. Yeah. So welcome everyone to Dr. Eddington. He is the new president of UDC. Thank you for joining our call and just letting us hear about your plans, initiatives for the university in the future.
No, thank you. Appreciate the introduction and good evening, everyone. Madam Chair, it's good to see you again, as well as the other commissioners. And I want to thank you for giving me some time on your agenda. And what I want to do is just give a quick overview of our new 5-year university strategic plan, because it speaks to, at a very high level, what the vision is that I have for the institution and what some of the priorities are for us as administration and as an institution moving forward. And so I'll just kind of quickly run through and save some time for questions. So our board approved about 2 weeks ago the new 5-year strategic plan. It's entitled Delivering on the Promise. And that title speaks to our vision and aspirations at this point in time for UDC to really fully realize all of the potential that we have, going all the way back to the initial vision from our predecessor institutions to the mid-70s when the current institution was founded, and really just trying to align and build off our recent progress. And so that includes really growing into a flagship institution for the district, and really focusing on student success and being what I really like to call a national model for how to effectively educate and train students as measured by student outcomes against our peers. Being the district's workforce and economic mobility engine, being a driver, connecting residents with high wage, high demand jobs and meeting business needs. Being a research and innovation hub for the district, and bringing all of our institutional stakeholders, internal and externally, including our ANC partners here, and bringing everyone together in support of a shared vision for what we call One UDC. And so that's kind of high level vision, connecting the theme, what that looks like. We can go to the next slide. And so the plan, which we will share, we have a 60-day notice period that will start at the end of this week. We'll post the plan for the public, so you all be able to go on our website and download it and review it. And when you get it, you'll see the way we structured it is driven by a new bold vision for the university that's supported by a set of goals. We have 3 goals and 9 objectives. So each goal has 3 objectives. We have specific key performance indicators and target goals. related to the objectives, and also a set of initiatives that describe what we're going to do to get the work done and achieve the goals. Next slide. And as I mentioned, we have a new vision for the institution, and the vision is really grounded in our aspiration in the future to be recognized as a leading national public urban university. We are a public university, we are urban university, and we want to really grow and evolve and improve to the extent that we will be listed amongst our peers in this category as a leader by focusing on what I call 3 pillar goals, right? We're going to focus on 3 things and try to be great in each of these 3 things. And one, as I mentioned before, student achievement, increasing our student success outcomes. Everything starts and ends with student success. 2, workforce needs, really connecting our academic programs, workforce development programs, our associate programs to the community college, our bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and professional programs, ensuring that we're meeting the workforce needs that the district has and the region has, and then being more thoughtful about the service that we provide as an institution of higher learning, and focus on impactful service to meet and address the district's critical needs. And so those are the 3 pillar goals, and everything we do is going to align with one of those 3 goals. Next slide. And then, we've identified a set of KPIs that we're going to use to track progress. And we've set some bold, aggressive goals, right? We want to significantly increase retention rates. We want to almost double our 6-year graduation rate. We want to essentially double our number of degrees awarded, and double certificates, increase enrollment by 50%, improve our annual giving by tripling it, and increasing our R&D expenditures by 50%. So you can see those are big goals, right? We did that intentionally because we wanted to have stretch goals, but goals that are obtainable. And if we achieve them, it will foster an institutional transformation. We'll be a much different university. We come close to hitting most of those targets. And my experience in this space in my prior institution, I have lived this and been a part of this, and it works. Setting big goals and aligning everybody internally and externally in support of those goals is how we make progress. And so that's the key. And then next slide. And we made sure that the plan aligns with the district's priorities. And one of the ways we did that is we aligned our objectives with the DC's comeback plan, the district's economic development strategy. And so there's a lot of overlap there. So we just wanted to highlight that, and that's included in the plan. And then next slide. And I won't go through this. It's just really kind of let you see how it's structured using this slide as an example. So I mentioned we have 3 high-level goals, and then each goal has 3 objectives. And so what I'll do is just run through the 9 objectives for you. So on the goal 1, we have an objective on student success outcomes, academic program quality and workforce development, and our institutional brand and reputation. And the point here is that all these 3 objectives are going to help us really solidify our status as a high quality academic institution with a strong reputation through student success outcomes that are high compared to our peers. So that's one goal. Second goal, identity, and that's the objectives. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. This go to the next slide. So there's metrics for each slide. So for every goal, you have 2 slides. One is the objective and the initiatives, and then the second one is the metrics. And just won't cover those. But the second goal is experience, and the 3 objectives are our student life. Right? We want to really have a student-centered administration, foster faculty and staff excellence, supporting and recruiting and retaining the best workforce, and increasing operational efficiency and effectiveness as an institution. So really our business processes and our service delivery is going to be a very strong focus under that set of objectives. And then keep going to the last one, partnerships, goal 3. Philanthropy, right? A focus on fundraising. I mentioned we're trying to triple our annual giving. 2, research and innovation, continue to grow and expand our research capacity. 3, outreach and engagement. And through that initiative, right, one, having a focus on the impactful partnerships that I mentioned earlier, targeting our stakeholder groups very specifically and having engagement and outreach. For the ANC in general, and then all of the different other government community organizations in the district fall under that. We want to really be thoughtful about working with you all and partnering with you all to really expand and extend our reach in a meaningful way. And so, go to the last slide. And so you think about 5 years from now, what will be different about this institution? We'll have strong outcomes and provide an exceptional student experience. Our faculty and staff will be providing the type of experiences, whether in the classroom or through service delivery, that's stellar and aligned with the mission and the focus for this institution. We'll have a more active and engaged alumni base and increased levels of support that includes from district government and donors and supporters. And then we just look at our overall institutional performance measured against KPIs that we've identified, benchmarked against institutional peers and aspirational peers, thinking about us and fostering economic mobility for district residents. I want to do that better, connecting our students with high wage, high demand jobs, address the needs of the business community. And really the reputation and brand for me is very important. 5 years from now, I want people like you all to think about UDC. Whatever you think today, right, wherever that is, I want it to be more positive, right? And I want that to be influenced by the outcomes that you can see for yourself. And so that's just a quick run through of the plan. As I said, it's going to be posted at the end of this week for 60 days, and then it'll be finalized, but we're already moving forward with beginning to implement the major initiatives under the plan. So I'll stop there, Madam Chair, to see if there's any questions.
Any questions from commissioners? And Dr. Eddington, I'll tell you, this is small potatoes, but I was at the Mid-Atlantic Jazz Festival, and there was a UDC table there. I mean, this is just in Rockville, but I went racing up there. I'm so excited you're here.
Nice.
It was really great. They were. I was just a parent of a musician, but they were recruiting musicians. And it was a great table filled with lots of good giveways. And it was really. I was like, "Hi, your neighbor." You probably thought I was crazy, which maybe I am, but I was very excited.
Well, thank you for mentioning that. That's awesome.
It was excellent. Does anyone from the community have something more interesting to say than that? I hope.
Well, I'll just piggyback off of what you said. And the music department at UDC is award-winning. It's phenomenal. They have, I encourage anyone to, go to their events, and it's wonderful. But President Eddington, thank you so much for your presentation. It's wonderful news, and I'm looking forward to the growth of UDC.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. And we're just all so excited and rooting for you. And please let us know how we can support you in any way. And I will say to that end, we'll adjacent to UDC, we will going forward, starting next month, have an archives update each month as part of our community forum. So we will be keeping the community posted on that as well. Okay, awesome. Good luck to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks, Juanita. Oops, I didn't see. Oh, Tina.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you so much. Sorry, I didn't see you.
No worries. Can you hear me? Hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to also thank Mr. Eddington with regards to UDC. I'm Tina Sandry. I'm the CEO of Forest Hills of DC. And so what we have in terms of our connection with UDC is we have nursing students that come to us and do rotations. And we also have the one and only ever in the history of Washington, DC, CNA certified nurse aide apprenticeship program, which provides a career ladder and a stepping stone for caregivers, frontline caregivers, to further their education. And the UDC nursing department has been extraordinary in attending each of our graduation ceremonies for our students and being able to be the direct hand that says, I am the next step for you, and I'm here, and here's my card, and I will open the doors for you so that this becomes an accessible experience for you to get to. So I just want to say thank you very much.
No, thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
That's amazing. Matthew, I'm not sure if this is Matt Barkley or.
It is. How are y'all?
Hi.
Is this my time to go?
We're just finishing up asking questions of Dr. Eddington.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm on two
Okay.
ANC meetings at the moment.
Your time will come and I will call on you.
Continue. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? Any other questions? Great. Thanks again. Thank you so much. And thanks, Tina. I'm sorry I missed that. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay. MPD, Lieutenant Olivier.
Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you so much.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Olivier. I'm filling in for Lieutenant Vandermeer. I'm going to give you a brief overview of PSA 203 and where you stand with your crimes. So let's begin. Property crimes was slightly down for year to date from 2023. In 2023, property crimes were about 50-50 with theft from autos and retail theft. So far in 2024, the vehicle thefts and thefts from autos are on the way down. But retail thefts is what's driving our numbers at this point. The issue with the retail thefts is that we have stores that haven't reported stuff last year in 2023, and once they report it this year, it's on our stats for this year's crime. What's happening and what's driving that right now is that we're reinvestigating some of these retail thefts because we identify some of the suspects. We have made arrests. We have had warrants. We have done warrants and stuff. And like, for instance, one person committed between June of last year and up until the point we arrested him about 2-3 weeks ago, 56 separate retail thefts. So we are investigating. We are going through. We're looking at videos with the security. The stores are helping us, and we're identifying these people, linking them to other thefts, and that's what's been driving our numbers up so far. Partially, we still have retail thefts going on. We're working with the U.S. Attorney's Office to pursue charges of burglary, arguing on the basis that their pattern and offenses that they enter in these stores with the intent to do this. When it comes to violent crimes, it's up 3-1 year to date. And that's just a small sample. Of course, the year just began. So it's just a small sample. The thing to note about this is not homegrown. These are offenders that are coming from outside areas. The robbery involving the guy that was followed off the metro and had his headphones snatched, and the ADW carjacking where the suspect followed the victim. They're all from other jurisdictions, not from the 2D or 2nd District area. Talking to Lieutenant Vandermeer, he wanted me to mention that they're working to get the signage up at Cleveland Park Library for the drug-free zone. So that's in the works right now. He's also speaking with the Boga properties, I believe, to get access to their CCTV cameras for the new real-time crime center to help us in our investigations whenever something major may happen. And that's all I really have for you all right now. Just one more mention is that, just so everybody know, we do have overtime footbeats out there. We do have in the shopping areas, the Connecticut Avenue areas. Also, we have the Amazon lock boxes at the station. This is for the community. We have the Amazon lock boxes at the station. If anybody has experienced any package theft at their resident, they're welcome to just send their packages to the lockbox. It's outside the station. They do not have to enter at all. I'll take questions, if any.
Thank you. If I might ask, you have now, you were just saying you have foot beats. That's officers out of their cars and walking commercial strips. Is that right?
Yeah, like we have.
That's amazing.
4300 block of it's an overtime footbeat 4300 block of Connecticut.
Thank you. Thank you. We requested that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any questions from commissioners?
I would just make a statement, and that is in reference to your foot beats. I was driving down Connecticut and I actually saw two of your officers separate times doing footwork, but I didn't know, and that confirmed it. It looked like that's what they were doing. It's like, oh wow, cool. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any questions from other commissioners and questions from the community? If anyone can help me so I don't miss again. Anybody? Okay, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate your time. And again, thank you for all you do for us.
You all have a good evening.
Thank you.
You as well, sir.
Okay. Matt Barkley, can you hear me? I'm gonna go to you if you're ready.
How's it going? How are you?
Mayor's Office of Community Relations.
Hello, my name is Matthew Barclay. I'm one of your Ward 3 MOKers for the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. Theo is normally at the ANC3F meeting, but he's helping me out tonight at ANC3A. So thank you, Theo. We have some big things happening at the moment, mainly budget engagement forums and Security C. So I will go through all of the, I put this in the Forest Hills listserv as well today. So I'll go through all the budget engagement forum information that you guys can.
And he's out. Okay. We're gonna move on. Do we have someone here from Matt Freeman's office? Okay. We'll give a little pause on that. Forest Hills Director Tina Sandri is here. We've heard from her that, the CEO of Forest Hills. Tina, we'd love to hear more about what's going on over there. Matt, you're paused now. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure what happened there.
Sorry, Matt, could you pause because we moved along?
I apologize.
Apologies.
Okay. Sound check. Everybody good? Okay. So good evening, everybody. My name is Tina Sandri. I'm the CEO of Forest Hills of DC. If you've been walking up and down Connecticut Avenue, hopefully within the last year, you've seen our evening lit up, it's very nice blue sign that tells you where we are. We've been on our property for almost 100 years. In 26 will be our 100th year on this property as a contiguously operating care home for the elders in our neighborhood. And so I'm very honored to be here to have that opportunity to do that. And I invite you to come in and take a look at us anytime. We used to host the ANC meetings before COVID, and I believe in talking to Courtney, we might be able to be getting back to that at some point in the future. And we'd love to have you in here. So the reason that I'm here this evening is I wanted to just provide an announcement of an upcoming change to our programming here. So we operate at 4901 Connecticut Avenue, half a block away from politics and prose. And we also have another campus over by St. John's College High School. And that's a secured memory care program that we run over there. And our board over the last many years, I got here 3 years ago, right a few months after COVID started. And we had to kind of cease any kind of strategic planning and just manage through COVID's lockdowns and other issues relating to maintaining resident safety first. But what we've come to decide over lots of meetings involving our leadership, involving our board of directors, is that we really wanted to provide more of an integrated program consistent with our corporate value of inclusion. And you'll see that on our sign on Georgia Avenue, that we provide inclusive senior living. And so you'll see more and more, I guess, market demand, and people want to have more access to different levels of programming. I just gave a tour this afternoon to our Madam Chair here, and just to show the building and what we plan to be doing. So what we'll be doing is integrating our memory care program into the building here on Connecticut Avenue, and that should be happening around the end of next month. So it'll be in about a month, and wanted to just give you some heads up of what we're thinking of doing. And we're very excited because we think this is going to lead to better quality of life care for our residents that need memory care support services of the type that we provide over on the other campus. And it will also give our families and residents an opportunity to walk not just in a community that's more integrated based on different levels of healthcare needs, it's also more integrated in terms of access to the community, so that we are incorporating our elders into our community. So that's kind of what we have going on. We're very excited about this move. We're hosting and we're paying for all the costs for our residents to make the move over. And we're bringing all the residents and all the staff over into this integrated program model, which I'm pretty excited about. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, be happy to answer them.
Does anyone have any questions from the commissioners or the community? I really enjoyed seeing the space today again, and have enjoyed in past years. I don't know if we have other people on the call who have been to ANC meetings, 3F meetings of yore that were hosted there before the pandemic. But we hope to figure out a good way to be able to have people both at home and in person going forward. And we're grateful for the offer of being able to host it right there with you.
Very good.
Thank you.
See you
Thank
here
you.
again soon. And
Yes,
you're all invited
absolutely.
to come by anytime.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Matt Barkley, we're going to give you another shot.
Sorry about that, guys. So my name is Matthew Barclay. I'm with the Ward 3 Moker. I'm one of the two Ward 3 Mokers for the Mayor's Office of Community Relations and Services. I'll put my information in the chat. This week we have the budget engagement forums starting this Saturday. So there's going to be 4 budget engagement forums this year for the FY24 budget after, so next year's budget. The first one will be at Deanwood Community Center this Saturday, February 24th at 11 a.m. at the Deanwood Community Center, 1350 49th Street Northeast. I can also, at the Forest Hills listserv, there's RSVP links, and if you email me, I can send that to you as well. There'll also be a senior budget engagement teletown hall this Wednesday, the 28th at 11 a.m. You'd call 844-881-1314. And there'll be watch parties at senior centers around the ward. Or yes, last year it was at St. Albans. So if you need more information, please email me and I'll get that to you. The second budget engagement forum, I guess third, excuse me, is also on Wednesday, February 28th at 5:30 at Brooklyn Middle School, 1150 Michigan Avenue Northeast. And then this year we're doing a new engagement forum, which is the Gen Z Online Budget Engagement Forum. So that should be interesting. So residents can learn more at upcoming budget engagement forums and the budget at budget.dc.gov. So please, I encourage you to go check that out. If you need more information, my information is in the chat. Also, we are encouraging everybody to email their ward representatives, so Councilmember Fruman, all your at-large council members, and Chairman Pinto, in your support of the Secure DC common sense public safety legislation. So if you need more information about that or how to support it, please reach out to me. And then also this week, we have a lot of things going on with DPW. So the DC Rec for All grants are now open. There's $3 million investments that will support over 100 grant opportunities funding programs for over 27,000 youth across DC. If you have an idea, please go to dpr.grants@dc.gov and apply. So that would be great, and encourage you to do that. Also, registration is now open and will close on Monday, February 26th for the DPR Summer Camp. DPR Summer Camp. Go to dpsummercamp.com to register your child in summer camp. Also, OUC has a junior academy. They are taking applications for the academy now. It's a free 5-week program. It aims to familiarize high school students with career opportunities and hopes of hiring participants who have a passion for serving residents. So if you need more information on that, I can also give that to you. Thank you guys. Hope you have a wonderful day.
OUC being the Office of Unified Communications that runs 911. Is that right?
That is correct.
Just to
OUC
clarify.
and 311. They also run 311.
And 311.
Mm-hmm. And does anybody have any questions?
Dave Skidmore.
Yes, thank you. Hi, I'm Dave Skidmore. I live in the 3500 block of Alton Place. So if this is an appropriate question related to city services, but I wanted to know what the prospects were of getting the Wilson Aquatic Center reopened and what the mayor's been doing to move that along. It's been closed for the better part of a year. So thank you.
I don't currently have an update, but I have continually flagged this for my leadership. I know that DGS is working diligently to get it done.
Okay.
But it's not currently done.
All right, thanks. The Tacoma Park pool is a good pool, but it's, a little bit outside our neighborhood, not as convenient. So
I totally understand, and thank you for raising it.
Great.
Is there a good place where we can get updates on that, or where should people who are missing their neighborhood swimming go to, if not here, to check for updates?
So DPR has an alert system. You can go to dpr.gov. Also me, as soon as I hear something about Wilson Pool, I'm going to be notifying everybody that I know about it. But as far as I understand, they're still waiting on some parts. As supply chains are interesting these days.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thanks, Matt. Sorry about booting you in line there.
You're no problem at all. I apologize for the malfunction.
Thank you. I did skip over Van Ness Main Street. Gloria Garcia could not be here this evening, so I wanted to just, I'm copying into the chat her update, but I wanted to just highlight, I hope I am, because there's a lot of detail there. But I wanted to highlight a couple of things from her update, which are the spring plantings. Kathy Sykes works very hard to beautify Connecticut Avenue. If you want to volunteer for spring plantings, there are dates coming up starting March 30th from 1 to 3 p.m. And going through April 20th, April 27th if there's rain. Anybody can help and join, and I've done it. It's really fun, really satisfying, and it just has, I think it's lovely. Second Saturdays kicks off on the 9th of March with Carpe Librum, the used bookstore that's on the block in front of the UDC building. They take donations of books, DVDs, and CDs, as well as selling books. I also go there. I think it's fabulous. There are really good books that you want that are there. And there's 7 other vendors. It's all at 4340 Connecticut Avenue. Kathy Sykes, previously mentioned, will also be there from 10 to 12 with more information about the pollinator program. Her business updates are, we still have an early summer date for the moms opening at UDC. I called them also myself this week. And they are anxious to open, but don't have anything specific to tell us, unfortunately. Will T, late May, Doghouse, which is the sports bar, the early summer. Bread First is about to celebrate 10 years, which is amazing. Flavor Garden in the first floor of the Days Inn has just completed a renovation, and they are open, and we should all go visit. And that's that. So the detail on that is in the chat. All right, welcome, James. Our tech guru has now arrived. Everybody will be appropriately spotlighted now.
Commissioner
and just in time.
Can you make me co-host actually, so I can help out?
I think
Just
Claudette
press
needs
the
to make
3
you co-host
dots.
because she's the
Yeah.
host. Oh, I did.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. No worries.
Thanks. I think Claudette has to do it because she's the host, not me.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. And now, James, I believe we're moving, oh, maybe it's to Terry. We're going to our BZA action items. And first up, we have 2916 Chesapeake Street. Dave Landsman, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Hi.
Hi. The presentation, if I can screen share.
You should be able to.
All right. Let me know if you're able to see that.
We can see it.
All right, great. Good evening, ANC. Thanks for having me. My name is David Landsman. I'm with Cass Engineering. We're doing a site at 2916 and 2920 Chesapeake Street Northwest. We are not a BZA application. We're a DDOT application, just to clarify. From a zoning perspective, we're completely by right. So here's an aerial view of the project. We're on the south side of Chesapeake Street, just west of Linnean Avenue. It is the old Israeli ambassador's residence that was tore down maybe 2 or 3 years ago and has sat vacant since. Here's a view along Chesapeake Street looking southeast towards the intersection with Linnean. So we're on the right there behind that red brick wall. Here's an alternate view of the site looking southwest, the current driveway apron with the large gates and the double width apron. Here's our existing survey of the property. Like I described, there's the wall along the frontage. We have a couple large street trees towards the east, and then the existing driveway towards the west. Our project proposes to remove the existing driveway, infill it with the retaining wall to match the other retaining walls, shift it towards Linnean Avenue Central on the 2 lots, construct a new single width driveway as opposed to the double width driveway that's there, plant the new street trees, and provide lead walk access to 2 new single family homes. So our public space application will be the 2 lead walks, the shared driveway with pervious pavement, 2 street trees, and filling in the retaining wall where the existing driveway is. And I'm happy to take questions.
Do any commissioners have questions? And I'm sorry, can you explain, you said you're here, it's DDOT and it's matter of right? So
yes, ma'am.
You
So from a zoning
have,
perspective,
can you explain that?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. So for DDOT, anytime you relocate or do a new curb cut, you're required to go to the ANC. So even though we are reducing the curb cut width and pavement in general, we are required to go before you guys in the Public Space Committee because it is technically a new curb cut. By right, referring to our zoning, compliance for the project. We don't have any BZA variances or special exceptions needed.
Okay. I see a raised hand, Liz and Andy.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for this. This is Andrew Robertson. Actually, I live right across the street, so we're excited for not having a vacant lot there anymore. Can you tell us a bit more about the timing of this? Like how long it's going to take, when you guys are going to start? I'm assuming you're not going to go past hours, considering we got kids and stuff like that. So, yeah, do you have any information on that you can share?
Sure. So the after hours piece, yes, there's no intention of going after hours. They'll comply with the district regulations. With no plans to apply for any after hour permits, and it'd be kind of irregular in a single family house. As for a start date, will be largely dependent on permits. I'm happy to connect with you offline. I think I spoke with your wife a couple weeks ago, actually out at the site. We're gearing up, working on the architectural plans and our permit submittals. But until we actually have those ready and submitted, I'm not sure of a start date. I think best case, we'd be shooting for a late spring, early summer start, but I think that's probably a little aggressive with DOB's current review timeframes.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And James, sorry, I hope I didn't bypass you.
Oh, no, it's a question to you, David. Have there been any letters of support from neighbors nearby for this project?
We don't have any letters, but we've reached out to the neighbors. Like I mentioned, I met with Andy's wife, Liz, on the 6th. My client met with the neighbor immediately to the east and discussed the project. No opposition, no letter or formal. It was an in-person discussion, and kind of a commitment to continue discussions. We're actually meeting with him again next week to talk about some work along the property line and how we're going to, make sure the properties are protected and all that good stuff. To the west, we left a flyer at the house. No one answered. So I don't have anything in paper to give you, but I can confirm that outreach has occurred.
Okay, thank you.
And Dave, is this an owner, an owner or someone who is building these in order to sell?
These will be built to sell.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, so we need to, my understanding is to vote on this.
Yes,
I move
please.
that we, my first time as chair. I've been trying to follow the Robert's Rules of Order as best as my unorderly brain will allow. So do we move to take a vote? Is that right, guys?
Quick question. Does it have to happen?
Sorry, I didn't see a question. Sorry.
No, I didn't. I didn't raise my hand. Sorry about that. I just wanted to know because
No, it's fine.
We didn't talk about this. Did we talk about this last month?
No,
Briefly.
we didn't.
Only
Right.
informally.
Wait, was this on the agenda last month? And I only asked because we normally just make sure we notify the community first 1 month, and then the next month we vote. So we don't just kind of surprise the community with information and just start voting, to just give people time.
I did think we had spoken about it, but if there is a, go ahead, Terry, because this is your SMD, correct?
We did speak and casually about it during the meeting, but not formally. It was just, and also prior, just to say that this is coming. It's a DDOT. It's only the driveway. There's not much more to it. But that's about, to answer your question, that's about as much as we spoke about. I do recall we did speak about it just ever so casually.
Okay.
And we looked at it at our executive committee, and I think the reason that it's on for a vote this time as opposed to informational is because they're not asking for a special exception. This is
Right.
It's somewhat of a formality, the vote on this.
It's only the curb cut. There's nothing else that we can vote on. It's just the driveway, and they're literally, Dave and his team are not literally, but are moving the driveway from one point to another. That's it.
Oh, just
and,
so is it,
and all of the neighbors.
Just
yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm saying that, so that I think makes it different than when we're asking for a special exception.
Right.
Mitch,
I move we approve this application.
does anyone second?
I second it.
Okay, we vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, passes. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Good night.
Thanks, Dave.
Good night.
Nice to see you.
Likewise.
Nice to see you, Dave.
See ya.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next item is the BZA at 2918 Upton Street. This was on the agenda last month and was discussed. I believe this is you, James.
This is, yes, yeah. So Tracy
Thank
Roosevelt
you.
is trying to join the call right now. Is there anyone else that's also with that BZA currently? Okay, Chair Carlson, it might be good to skip to the APCA license for Caldwell Family Vines and then go back to the BZA.
Let's do it.
Just so that way Tracy can join.
Great. All right. Caldwell
And-
Family Vines, also you.
That's also me, yes. Now,
You're on
Cameron,
again. Welcome
I know,
home.
right? Cameron, you are on the call. I know that. So whenever you're ready, Cameron, you can join in. Tell us more about the BZA. I know that you, sorry, the APCA license. I know that you talked about it briefly last month, and so we're just sort of voting on it for this month's meeting.
Hello, everyone. Cameron Mix of the Veritas Law Firm here on behalf of the applicant, Caldwell Family Vines. Mr. Tandrick and I have been in communication over the last few weeks to finalize the settlement agreement, which has now been signed by my client, poses some requirements towards preventing the operation of the storage situation from interfering with the flow of parking or of goods coming in and out of the building or the creation of excessive noise in it. But just to go over the nature of the operation, it's a storage situation. He's renting out space within the domain storage facility such that it can be picked up and shipped to people through online order. Not a whole lot of potential interferences with the neighborhood. It's a one-man operation, the sole proprietor of the business. So pretty straightforward agreement. It's just a couple of commitments.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners?
Cameron, just to clarify, so with the applicant, so they're only going to use just like the storage container, only with domain. There's no any type of like businesses or nothing. I think extra that's coming from it, just solely just the storage unit that they're using for their business. Okay, thank you.
How does the product get into the storage facility?
They do have vendors who do drop off by the case, which they then take and bring into the facility.
And then just to clarify, that that's only happening in like the alleyway, but between BZ Terrace Avenue and Van Ness Avenue, correct? There's nothing in operation on Second Avenue. It's only solely in the back alleyway.
Yeah, rear entrance to the building.
Are we talking about just cases, or are we talking about flats of goods?
It's a smaller operation. The boxes of several lines, not like industrial scale.
And what is does he have a plan for growth?
It's a relocations business he's had going on for a while. It ships to a relatively small clientele. I guess he could renegotiate with Domain in the future if we were to expand, but right now it's really just to maintain continuity of operations, as they did not have the ability to maintain their prior storage facility.
And Cameron, can you just also just clarify for those on the call that were not on the call last month, what is the business? Like, what are they selling? What do they do? Who is involved with it? Like, we want to be able to hear more about them just because they're joining our community. So we just want to hear just like a background, just as to like, who are they? Who's being part of the community? What are they doing? What are they selling? Just so that people are aware of like what's coming into the neighborhood.
Yes. The Caldwells are big fans of Argentinian wine. They receive Malbecs, Francs, rosés, various Argentinian wines shipped from like major respected wineries, store it, market it online, and it's shipped to places all around the DMV and outside. Family operation, but I believe Mr. Barry Caldwell, the principal, does all of the actual groundwork in terms of packaging and delivery.
Thank you. Does anyone else have questions? Okay, can I get a motion for a vote?
I motion to approve the APCO license for Caldwell Family Vines.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much. Good luck with the business. Thank you for joining the meeting.
Excellent. Yes. Thank you for your time. And can I expect the signed copy agreement tomorrow?
Yeah. So Ken, what's gonna happen is that I'm going to email you the agreement that we have, and then Commissioner Carlson, I'll CC you on the email just so we get your signature on it. That way, we'll be able to move forward with the settlement agreements.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Okay, James, we're looking for Tracy.
Yes, Tracy, I think you're on. I think you're the number that joined in, just to confirm. I believe there's a phone number that joined, and she emailed me that she did join the call. I believe you're the 401 number. Tracy, is that you? Potentially, maybe. If worse comes to worse, she also emailed me the slides, so I can also just share like from the slides in itself as well too. But let me just try to say, yeah, Tracy, if you are there, can you just put something in the chat just that way we know that you're there, if you're able to come off mute as well too.
And if not, we can move to our votes and then circle back, just in the interest of keeping it zippy.
We can as well too. I at least want to like show like the slides to you. I'll just that everyone's aware of kind of as like what's happening with the BZA. I also will
Yeah,
share
I know she's really involved, which is why I was just hoping she could be there. She emailed us individually.
Yeah. Also just letting you all know that she has had 18 letters of support. So she has had a number of neighbors reach out and get letters of support. So to me, I mean, I'm planning on voting yes because there's just like such like widespread like voting yes on it as well too. I guess Commissioner, would you want me to share the slide or should we just go straight to like a vote?
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, well, why don't you should show the slides, and I think we should, ask if there's anyone from the community after that who has anything to speak to on it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think she just tried to join again. I'm gonna have her try to unmute herself and see if she can join.
Am I unmuted?
Hi.
Tracy, is this you?
Hi, sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry. I kept getting a message that I was muted. So I'm really sorry to take everyone's time.
No worries. So Tracy, what's happening is that I'm gonna share the slides, so the 11 slides that you sent me.
Great.
So I'll just share from my end,
really
and you're welcome just to
appreciate
share and talk about, and then we're ready to move on to the next slide. Just let me know, okay?
And
Perfect.
Tracy, we
So
spoke to
actually,
the
I
fact that
think
you have broad support from your neighbors before you were on,
Yeah.
just so you know.
I do. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I love my neighbors, which is why I want to do this project. So I'm really excited to have talked to pretty much all of them and gotten 21 letters of support. So I will start. Do you want me to reiterate? I know that I presented at last month's meeting. It's about our proposed addition to the back of our house. And we're requesting that just because we want to stay in the neighborhood as we have a growing family. It's for a special exception pursuant to Subtitle D, Section 5201, and Subtitle X, Section 901. And that's from Subtitle D, Section 207, which allows for a 10-foot rear yard by right. And so what we're really asking for here is 5 additional feet. In addition, I think what we're asking for is also something that's maybe good for the neighborhood, and the crux of why it's so great to have a neighborhood commission like this. Our attached neighbor, the Galanos, Mike Galano is also on the Zoom. They have already received the exact same special exception to go out 15 feet, and we are attached just on that side. So we'd like to do the build together. If we don't receive the special exception, my understanding of the law is that once they build out 15 feet, we can build out another 10 feet beyond them. So if we waited till they were done, we could build a 25-foot addition, which we do not plan to do. But we would just like the utility not to have, two sets of construction for the neighborhood, and to be able to work together and put the addition on at the same time. Do you want to start, James, by just showing where we're talking about on the back of our house? You can see photos of it on page A104 in the PDF. At the moment, there's a covered patio in the. You're on it. Okay. At the moment, there's a covered patio in the space. That covered patio goes out 11 feet. So this would be almost entirely within that. It would go out 15, and then it would have a deck after that. And then if you want to go up and see beyond that, the actual design, sorry, actually, if you go to the front page, you will see the back of the building, how it would be. So it would be siding with windows in the back, and you can see it kind of starting from the top with windows, and then a nice like big door with windows on the second floor, or really it's the ground floor because the bottom is our basement. And then if you go down, you see the site plan. This does not take up more than the permitted allowed amount of coverage in our yard. And then when you go to page A108, you see the side of the building, that it'll be a siding addition with windows on the side as well. And then finally, you can move down to the solar study. And the solar study shows that there will be, you see it at all different times of the year, and see very minimal, and in fact, I think in general, no impact on our neighbors on the side that's not the Galanos, on the side of 2920 and 2922 Upton. And so I think that takes you through it. Anything else you would like to show on it, James?
I'm just showing the different slides you mentioned. So I know there's like these proposed, I see the proposed floor plans on page A107. And then I see the existing and proposed elevations for page 8, and page 9 I'm just showing to the community right now.
Okay, great.
Anyone have any questions? Commissioners and community? Okay, so can I propose that we vote to grant the special exception for 2918 Upton Street?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So the special exception passes. Thank you, Tracy, for providing such a thorough presentation, and also for all of the cooperation and community of your neighbors.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and then
Thank you. Good
Tracy,
luck.
Walter Dex says that I will send to the office of BZA just our little supports for this BZA, just so that way the ANC has given great weight to this as well. And then to Mike, great. Hey, Mike, hope you're doing well. I remember you from a couple years ago when I passed your BZA, so appreciate you coming back.
Yeah, appreciate it, Commissioner, and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
Okay, so that concludes the residential remodeling portion of our meeting, and we're going to go to budget and annual expenditure votes. Mitch.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Hi there again. We have to renew our post office box at the UPS store that's located in the American University building. We presently have a medium-sized mailbox, and its rental cost is $623.88 a year, excuse me. I went down there today to talk with them because I thought it was a pretty high amount of rental for it, and it turns out that we have a medium-sized box. If we wanted to move to a smaller size box, we could save ourselves $200 a year in rental space. And I probably need to ask Rachel to give us any indication of whether we are getting so much mail in there that we need the medium space, or that we are getting few enough that if I go there on a weekly or even a couple weekly basis, we could drop down to a small size. Are you still there, Rachel? Well, not hearing her.
I was actually wondering also, Mitch, this one being at the UPS store at American University, is it the one at in 3F, right? In the building of WAMU? Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just down the street from me.
I just wanted to clarify, it's in 3F, business, and in the business in the hood. So the question, I know that there was a question earlier among the commissioners that we have an address, an office address, and this PO box. My understanding is that having a PO box, especially when it comes to the checks and things such as this, is more secure than what would be coming to just basically a desk somewhere that's not staffed. Is that your understanding, Mitch? I just wanted to clarify that among commissioners and just sort of have that for the record, that having a PO box is a more secure way to receive mail rather than at this address that we have on our letterhead.
Well, yeah, I've talked with the ANC folks and also the auditor's office today, and they indicate that that actually is necessary for identification of us as a entity, so to speak, that you can't have your mail just being dropped to someone's desk. You need to have some place, and if it's even just a mailbox, then that's okay. But the auditor's office, because of the security fund that we needed to application that we needed to renew again this year, was especially not concerned, but was asking me very closely about the post office box, and that is the official place that we go to get our official correspondence. So yeah, it is.
So I wanted to clarify, since this is, we do need to vote on this expenditure. This is an expenditure that is ongoing and is required. I think Claudette, Commissioner David, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to call the vote for the annual expense.
Great. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page, since there was some question.
I like to call the vote and second that, Commissioner David, but I also would like people to give me an indication of whether I should pursue the possibility of getting a smaller mailbox or not, to save us some money.
So actually, my only concern is what are we voting for then if you're going to, if you haven't had the conversation to engage Rachel to determine if you want a smaller box or this medium-sized box? Because that sounds like that's very important to know what we're voting for if it's going to change.
She's here. Rachel, are
Yeah,
you?
sorry. Sorry.
Thanks.
I was trying to avoid my dog. Yeah, so we have always, the reason they kept it in UPS is because it was actually in our in 3F, and that, because I know you talked about the potential of having it a post office. It doesn't matter to me either way, but I think the prices have gone up in general each year that we've paid, like they incrementally have gone up. So I think when we paid for this, we paid for it at the end of 2022 because they just wanted to make it through the change of the commission. It was like in the high 500s, and so this was that amount that they bumped it to this time around.
Are we able to get a smaller box, or do we need the space?
It's completely up to you guys. I think that you can, but we've just always had this size. It's rather small, but it's not the smallest.
But Rachel,
Yeah.
do you receive?
Oh.
Sorry. Rachel, do you receive enough mail for a smaller one? Is it convenient, or is it better because there are some months that have heavier receipt of mail than others to have a medium-sized box?
Yeah, it depends on the month, because sometimes if there's a zoning commission thing, they have to send everything by mail as well as email, and those packets are huge. But we can also have them hold it for us too. So I guess.
I mean, but holding it, I mean, I know that they'll take care of it. I'm sure they're bonded, but having it in the mailbox it takes that one extra step out of having to receive it. But it's good to know that month to month it can change. So there's a need to have the medium-sized box because there isn't consistency where you only get 10, standard size envelopes every month. It's clearly there's some unplanned months that you will get.
James?
Yeah. Rachel, I was gonna ask too, like, do you find, like, from your perspective, because I mean, obviously, you're at the mail like more often than most of us are. Do you find it'd be worth to like reducing it down to a small size based on costs? Like, I know that you mentioned that like each month it may depend, but if that's only maybe like once in a while, then it may be worth to get the smaller size. Like, I'm curious, from your perspective, like, would you find it to be helpful if we move the mailbox down to a smaller size? And then for like the one-off months where we may get more mail than usual, which, I mean, I think for me, I don't foresee it as that would not be too often that would happen. Like, from your perspective, would you find it to be helpful to move down the smaller box?
I think size-wise, it wouldn't matter. I think the question is more that it's going to change our address and our mailing address. So that would be the only thing I would suggest that we consider with that.
Could I also add that you might want to consider what would the auditors and OANC say if the UPS store is holding those bigger envelopes? Is there a policy or stipulation that you can't have a third party holding these documents? I'm just curious. I might want to add to that conversation to finding out.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Both of those issues. I'm sorry, Marilyn, did you have your hand raised?
I was wondering, in terms of, we're talking about only capacity. If I'm hearing right, the packets that come from zoning, whatever, could be 14 by 16 or whatever. Is it only what are we talking about in the size of a box?
Yeah, I mean, it's about that. They make it work, but the small box is like the size of a letter. So
James?
We ought to keep what we have.
Yeah. James?
Oh, I was gonna ask you, like Rachel, is there like a deadline to change like the size of the mailbox? Because from what it sounds like from like 6 of us, like it might be good to like just table this conversation for like next month potentially, because there seems to be many questions out there as well too. And like, even to me, a little confused as like what we'd be voting on specifically. So I mean, it might be good
Mitch,
to
when
table
does the
it.
bill need to be paid?
Yeah.
Well,
the
that due date
bill,
was February 6th. So it depends on
mean,
if
it
you want to
seems-
do it for a year or if you decide to do a different amount.
Could we
It
vote?
seems between the capacity and the fact that we would have to change our address are two, like,
These are big
I would
things.
move that, I would suggest that those two things are important enough that I would move that we proceed to vote on this as listed, staying as is because of those two issues. Anyone?
I would
yeah,
agree
I
with
agree with that.
I would agree with you, but I would also add the stipulation, the unknown stipulation of what OANC and or the auditor's policy is for third-party holding mail for future conversation to have it noted.
Yeah. So maybe we revisit it next year, but can we move to vote on to keep the current mailbox as is, $623.88 per year?
I would say.
All in favor?
Oh, wait, sorry, wait, 1 second. I'm
Aye.
just trying to make sure that we get the right wording down.
Oh, sorry.
So on the
I,
agenda, yeah,
it's the UPS store PO Box, $623.88 per year.
so just to clarify that we're voting no in that.
So we're
That's what you're
voting.
saying.
I was suggesting that we're voting yes to pay that bill and keep it as is. That was my
Gotcha.
motion, is because of the fact that we would have to change our address, and because of the fact that we do get larger mail that would need to be held elsewhere, that we stay the status quo here and pay the bill as listed.
Okay,
And,
so that's.
and
Oh,
if you want to get a smaller mailbox next year to find out if we're breaking some sort of policy or regulation for third party physically holding the mail for us, that's really, to me, that is a concern. So
Right. So is that a legit vote? I move to vote on to approve the $623.88 per year for the UPS.
And I second
And I
that.
got a second.
Mhm.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Claudette, we don't see you. Are you voting for this?
If
She's gone. Okay.
she says yes, she says
Oh,
yes.
she did,
Okay.
she did this.
She gave a
Okay,
thumbs
I don't
up.
see her. I
Her
don't see her
thumb.
on my thing.
It's the ANC3F.
Okay, I don't even see her block. No, I don't even see her block or her face or her thumb. But I'm glad it's there. Okay, Mitch, your second is the Wix website hosting plan.
Yeah, we need to start paying them a yearly fee for support of the hosting that they're doing so wonderfully for us. And a year is $343.44. There appears to be will be an additional $60 because, as I understood, what Terry and Claudette wanted was an upgrade on the hosting, and so I will turn it back to them to indicate what that extra $60 a year incorporates.
I can answer that question unless Claudette wants to. So that will enable enable Rachel to provide more support. It also gives us the extra $60 gives us more access or tools to the site, which includes the calendar. So the package that we have now, we've maxed out the number of calendar invites that Rachel can set forth. So there are no additional meeting invites that can be set forth at the moment because of the lack of calendar space. With that increase in $60 allows her unlimited access to calendars, so we can get all of our meetings out on the calendar for our constituents to see now as soon as she gets them out and posted. It also allows for additional tools for management of the site on our end as well. But the main piece is the calendar.
Vitally important. I move that we approve this expenditure for $343.44 plus $60. If the minutes could reflect my inability to do that math, I would be grateful.
I second it.
I have a comment
All in
before we
favor?
vote, please.
Oh, sorry, yes.
I have found, and I've had members of the community tell me that the website is just not functioning properly, that you can't get to pieces of it. You can't call up things that you want from the archives, including agendas and other key pieces of information that is supposed to be on it and is identified on it. And I had the embarrassment today of sending someone to the ANC3F website to see the agenda for tonight's meeting. And that person called me back and said they can see the tab for it, but when they open it up, there's nothing there.
Are they
And
on?
I
sorry.
myself also went to the website and found that I could not call up the agenda for tonight's meeting. I'm sorry. I'm tired of being embarrassed by the fact that the website's not working when I think it should be, and I'm having community people tell me that they can't get to the material that we want. I will vote for this support from WEX, but I kind of would like to hear that we're going to have a date certain by which this website starts functioning the way it's supposed to function.
So Mitch, you are.
I left a message this week, yeah, also to with Wix to try and get a hold of somebody.
Right. So you know that we've been working trying to get this worked. There's a technical issue with the folders, but also when you're talking about so the agenda, the question is, and I ran into this last month, and I ran into it a couple of days ago when I wanted to access something from the site. On my iPhone, I could not access it, but on my computer, I could. So part of that, I will go ahead and call the help desk tomorrow, because all they have to do is flip a switch so that they can have both access to the iPhone or somebody's smartphone, whatever type of smartphone, and then your computer. The other issues, they're being worked on, but it's I guess we'll have to, I know we've coordinated on this, but and I've already started to collate all of those documents into months so that they can be uploaded. I know that Claudette also has some background on this with what has happened and where we're going with this. So we'll work this. And what we can do is give you an update next month in hopes that this is improved. But it's a couple of technical issues that aren't major, honestly, but they are major.
It does seem if at one point those things were accessible on a website, that there shouldn't be work that needs to be done in terms of collating. It should just be, there just must be one link that's broken. And I think the onus needs to be put back on this web company that we've paid money to and said, and I tried to contact them this week to no avail myself, but I don't, you guys have been successfully contacting them over time. But I find it, this isn't on you or me or Mitch or anybody else. This is on us, this company to whom we've paid money to. We had links that worked, and then they worked on our site, and now we have links that don't work. That's their fault, not your fault to be collating things. And we can't be waiting for someone to collate things. They need to fix the link. So I would really second and I actually also had my own frustration. Actually, the opposite. I had a hard time seeing the whole site on my laptop screen, thinking maybe I was on a mobile site, but you know, you have to scroll way down in order to get to the information that you need. So I really do think this is a critical issue. Again, I'm more than happy to help do some of the legwork to get this fixed, but I think it's calling them and not you putting too much of this on yourself, Terry, because this is, you didn't make the mistake. You didn't cause the problem. They need to fix this. And if they don't fix this, then we really need to get someone else in there to get it fixed. This is really our front door. It's our bulletin board to the community. It has to be accessible.
And I spoke to the help desk and they explained it as well. I agree with you. And I think we have to track down this company that is not actually attached to Wix. It was a package that we bought that they do the work. We didn't buy the package where Wix would do all of the work, but it's a subcontractor or a contractor that. So right now we need to find those people, narrow them down and get them to do the work to exactly what you just said. And it is in a sense, it is one link, but it's their problem to figure out all the other links that go with the primary link to get it working.
But if they're going to take much longer, like, you know, we as discussed in previous meetings and in our executive committee meeting, I know someone who lives in this neighborhood who does this work, who could fix it, who's invested in it, who cares about it. You know, I'm sure it's not as expensive as whoever else. If these people aren't going to do it, and I guess I would say if we could come to an agreement as a group in, 14 days, then I'd like to be able to move forward and get someone to fix it so it's fixed.
Well, so I just want to mention that we already had this discussion, and so I just don't want to waste anyone's time because we're wasting people's time right now. Because the follow-up was you were going to call the company and so
can't get through to
everyone has
anybody.
the information, so none of this is new. So we're wasting people's time right now. So I think we should vote on renewing the hosting site. And then we already talked about what Terry is doing. You're just now saying that you called and you haven't heard back from somebody. So this is stuff that we take care of on the back end.
Claudette, I think Mitch's point is that we have all heard from members of the community that the website as it stands now is not working.
Right.
And I think that is, I believe that this is an appropriate conversation. Well, it's the ability
not the website.
It's a user to be able to see what we need to see. So I would table this, but I do think it was an appropriate conversation for us to be having, because I think that, we've had a lot of conversations behind closed doors about this website and our frustrations with it. And I think it's appropriate for the community to understand that this is an ongoing thing that we're working on. And that we care that it's been problematic.
That we're saying in our meetings, like you're not saying anything new to help the community understand what's happening. So because when you do go into the website,
okay, thank you. Well, then we're now going on. So let us then table it. You're saying you don't want it to be. You're saying you don't want it to be spoke up. We've now had the conversation.
That's not what I'm saying.
The conversation about not wanting to have the conversation.
No.
Let's vote.
I'm saying
let's vote on the expenditure and move on.
And we have.
But now you're repeating it. So let's vote on the expenditure and move on.
You were supposed to follow up, and so things.
I did follow up.
So, but you're saying it right now.
I had major surgery, but I also did follow up, and I didn't hear back, and I got a bunch of automated.
Time out, ladies.
Been working this out before tonight, so
I'd like
ladies, if I could just time out for a second. So, the only thing is, what we should take this offline. The to Claudette's point, there are two issues here. There is the actual site, and then there are those individuals that have been hired to put the information on the site. We need to have that conversation offline. and then we can come back with some due out dates, but we should go ahead and vote for this. And
That's what I was trying, that's what I just said. I'd like to vote on the expenditure.
Sort of help to help move the conversation along so that we can
Thank you. One like to vote on the expenditure of, I think, which I said more than 10 minutes ago, because I think I asked James to do the math for me on the expenditure of the Wix website hosting plan, $343.44 plus $60.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Does anyone opposed? Okay, so that's
Thank you. I'll move forward with those.
that's sorted out. I believe we have a member of the community that would like to speak to the proposal to eliminate the slip lane on Reno and 36. This is an issue that has come up. I know Matt Freeman's office sent it out this week. We worked on it in Streets and Sidewalks. So Dave Skidmore, if you would like to speak on that, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, and thank you for your service. So I learned about the proposal from Matt Freeman's recent newsletter, and my thought is that I believe there should be better ways to slow traffic in that block of 36th Street between Warren and Yuma. So one thing you could do is make it a three-way stop intersection at Warren. You could put a stop sign at the end of the slip lane so that cars don't just race up 36. And the other thing you could do is you could put speed humps on that block of 36. We recently, just yesterday, got speed humps on our block of Alton Place, 3500 block. And, you know, I'm in favor of that because it is near school and I think traffic should be slow. My concern about eliminating the slip lane is it would force northbound traffic on Reno to go up to Warren and make a right-hand turn, and it would be sharper than a 90-degree turn, and it's a narrow spot there. There's a left-hand lane. If you're northbound on Reno, you can turn left onto Warren, and then there's one other lane for going either through or making the right-hand turn. So I just think it would be better for that seemed to me a little dangerous, potentially rear end accidents, and it would be better to slow traffic on 36 by the stop sign at Warren and 36 northbound from the slip lane, and or a couple of speed humps on that block, so people, when they approach the stop sign at Yuma where the school is, are not going too fast. So anyway, that's my
Thank you for your input. My understanding is that a way that they are taking comments, and I don't think I have it with me, but if you want to put your email in the chat, I can send you the link where you can send the comments if you haven't seen it.
I did. The link was in Matt Freeman's newsletter. I did send a comment, but the reply
and thank you for sharing it.
Seemed to be that they thought it was just a good idea in general to eliminate slip lanes. So I don't know if the comment registered, but I don't know.
Well,
maybe there are
thank
others
you for bringing it up.
Maybe there are others in the neighborhood who are very much in favor of eliminating it, but none of my neighbors are.
There are. Yes, there are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Terry, we have Matt and Terry. Terry, do you want to go first?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Hewitt, excuse me.
Oh, it's all, I didn't even know this difference. Thanks. If this is out of place, I apologize and correct me and put me where I need to be in reference to this topic. Would it be appropriate to engage and have a public safety walk so that we can bring DDOT in? And that's what I'm wondering, if maybe in addition to the comments, and make certain people are encouraged to make those comments, but once we look at the comments to see, maybe just a thought to do a public safety walk.
Thank you. Matt?
Thank you. Great. I just wanted to second Dave's comments and add to that, that by closing the slip lane on 36th Street, we're increasing the traffic on Yuma. So we're trading one for another, and it's hard to see the benefit of doing that when the slip lane does provide a safe alternative for people who live in the neighborhood to exit Reno Road, which we all know is a race course. And I have to say that I'm disappointed that DOT has taken upon themselves to do this. And we've asked repeatedly for work on 35th Street, which people use as a bypass between Yuma and Albemarle, especially when they see that the car wash at the end of the street has blocked traffic. They will take off up 35th Street as fast as they can go to Yuma and try to beat the light up there. And I've actually had to pull someone out of the road to avoid being crushed. And every single house on my block and the one next to it has a child or an old person living in it. And we really would like.
Are you on the block that doesn't have a sidewalk right there?
No sidewalks.
Yeah, I've walked that. We did a walk with DDOT on your block. That's really a serious issue.
No one, for instance, no one wants to park in the last space on the corner because everyone knows that's the one that gets scratched by cars that come screaming up the road and can't stop in time. It's only a matter of time before one of us loses a family member.
Well, I'm sorry that Paul Harrison, who's the chair of Streets and Sidewalks, isn't here because Matthew, we have been on your block. We will continue to be on your block and advocate for that block because it's really unsafe and so close to Sheridan. If you both want to email me at 3f06@anc.gov, I'd be happy to walk through and coordinate having DDOT or members of our Streets and Sidewalks committee together to discuss. And thank you very much for bringing it up and
All right, I will send an email.
Participating in the comment process. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks. We hear you, and I appreciate the feedback on that. I think we got Matthew. So, is there any other business, commissioners? Seeing nothing, I move that we adjourn the meeting
Second.
at 8:58 p.m.
Second.
So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. The next meeting of ANC3F will be Tuesday, March 19th at 7 p.m. We do have a vacancy. Please feel free to email any of us to ask questions about the commission job or get more information about the process. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Thank you. Good.
Bye, everyone.
Godspeed to you, James.
Appreciate it.